Before we begin today's video, I'd like to encourage all of you Dayz server owners to come join my Discord if you really want to take your server to the next level. You'll find everything from the basic XML guides to definitions, some really good JSON builds, proxy builds, along with advanced XML. The link to join my Discord will be on all of my YouTube videos. See you guys there. Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video on my channel. In today's video I'll be showing you guys how to make all loot pristine on your Dayz nitrado server. To get started, you're going to want to go to the file browser. Once you're in the file browser, go to the Dayz PS missions folder. If you're Xbox, this will say Dayz XB missions, but the files are the same for both consoles. Dayz offline Chernoris plus if you're Chernoris. If you're Livonia, there's going to be another folder called Dayz offline Enoch. Go to the DB folder. Once you're in the DB folder, there is a file called globals.xml. Open globals.xml, Control A to highlight the entire file. Go to the tools channel of my Discord. There's two different validators. One is for JSON files and one is for the XML. Now for the globals, we're going to be using the XML validator as it's an XML file. Drop the file here. The values we're going to want to edit are loot damage and loot damage max and loot damage min. Now these values by default are loot damage minimum 0.0, then maximum 0.82. You want to adjust these values to your liking. If you want to know what values to put for what loot condition, head on to the definitions of my Discord and find the one for globals. You're going to find something that says level of loot damage. Here, this gives you an idea of what values mean what level damage. For instance, if you want pristine, you want to make it anywhere from 0.0 to 0.29. But if you want worn, you could do 0.30 and 0.59. In this video, we're going to be doing mostly pristine, so just leave it at 0.0 on my part for now. Once that's done and you've edited these values to your liking, go ahead, Control Copy, paste it back onto your globals.xml file, and save changes. Now, the next file we're going to be editing is going to be the Dayz offline Chernoris Plus folder. It is called the CFG spawnable types.xml. Again, grab this file, take it onto the editor, Control Find. So what this bar does, it'll find you whatever you search for in this file. In this case, we're going to search for damage. Now you're going to find these damage lines. The reason these damage lines exist is, so for instance, if you want to make all the loot on your server pristine, except for a handful of items, then what you can do is, in the spawnable types, edit the damage for those items. Now, if the item you're trying to add doesn't have a value here by default, you can always make another value for it. So for instance, the punch card, people tend to want to make that spawn in badly damaged, so it's one use only. What you can do in that case is make another entry, just like this, Control Copy, then paste. Now we have 2 truck battery entries, and then replace the one with the name punch card, and then adjust the damage exactly the same as shown in the globals. Now, to make it all 0 and to make sure there isn't any that are still spawning in damaged, we're going to search for damage first. Okay, so for instance, the Winchester. The Winchester at the moment is set to 0.3, 0.7. We're going to copy this, drop it in the find. There's a total of 10 of these. There's a small toggle plus right under the find bar. This is going to replace whatever we find with the following code. So for instance, the top bar is for finding the said line. Then the lower bar is going to replace all of those lines in this file to that, which we're going to make 0.0. Then you could either replace it one by one, or you could replace it all by just clicking that. There you go. So that's all the 10 values changed. But do keep in mind there's I think over 5 different damage values. So you want to make sure you get all of these. So for instance, this one is 0.45, then 0.85. There is a total of 3 of these. Replace all of those. There you go. That's fully replaced. And I think, so there you go. For instance, let me just find another one as well. No, that's it. Yes, that covers almost all of them. Yeah, just make sure there's no more damage lines that are not 0.0, or you could just delete them if it's easier for you. It doesn't matter. You could either do 0.0 or delete them altogether. Once that is done, go ahead and Control A, highlight the entire file again, drop it onto the CFG spawnable types again, and save changes. Now the next step from here, you have 3 options for the pristine loot changes to kick in. Option number 1 is playing on the server normally and it'll cycle in on its own. Now how quickly it cycles in really depends on how active your server is. How often, for instance, loot is taken, dropped, and cycled, basically. But normally takes a day or 2 for a medium pop server. Second option, if you look on my Discord, there is a channel called Soft Wipe. This is pretty much the easiest and quickest way to make sure the loot changes kick in right away. Third option, which is a full reinstall. You fully wipe your server and it kicks in. But the way to wipe it, you initiate the reinstall. Once the reinstall gets initiated, you want to keep an eye on your server's hostname. At the moment, mine is still test, so I'm going to keep on refreshing. I'm going to refresh again. Once it changes back to nitrado, refresh one more time. Refresh. Refresh again. It's taking its time. Okay. What I'm waiting for is the hostname changing to default nitrado. Okay. Hostname changed to nitrado.net space game server. You want to come down to the reset mission XML default, uncheck that, and save changes. What this is going to do is it's going to fully reinstall your server, but we're telling nitrado not to reset the files. So do a full wipe, but leave our files the same. What's going to happen is your server is going to come back to life with the files you've just implemented. For instance, pristine loot, maybe full vehicles, and so on. Ideally, you want to do a reinstall when you've done all of your edits and you just want it to instantly kick in. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please like and subscribe for more Dayz related content. Let me know down in the comments section what you'd like to see more of on my channel.